Okay, so coming back to our 42 tutorial, now we are going to cover C03. So let's go to our 42 tutorial folder. We make our C03 folder, we get into it, and we create exercise 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And starting from exercise 00, we have our vim ft str conf.c. We include unistd, and we include stdio. So int ft str cmp char s1 char s2. So here we have our task. Reproduce the function strcmp, the behavior of the function strcmp. So we go to see what this strconf does. So it compares the two strings s1 and s2. The locale is not taken into account. The comparison is done using unsigned characters. strcomp returns an integer indicating the result of the comparison as follows: 0 if s1 and s2 are equal, a negative value if s1 is less than s2, and a positive value if s2 is greater than s2. Okay, so we already know what we have to do. The first thing we're going to do, of course, as we are used to, is that we are going to have our int I, and I is equals to 0. So we're going to say that while s1 of I is different than no, and while s2 of I is different than no. So while both of our strings are not empty, and we're going to say that if s1 is different than s2, then we are going to return s1 of I minus s2 of I, and we iterate our x. Now here we are going to just simply return s1 of I minus s2 of I. Now let's have our main function here to make it easier for our explanation. So our character 1 is hello, and our sentence 2 is equals to hello as well. Then we'll print percentage d ft str comp s1 s2 return 0, compile our code. What did I miss? Yep, this e is in the wrong place. What else? I forgot a parenthesis at the end. Now it should all be fine. It returns 0. Why? Because as you can see, the sentence of both sentences, both strings are equal, so it will return 0, which is just the null. But if we come here and we change hello to hello, we have an uppercase O, if you can see here, well, GCC, and 32. And why is it returning 32? Well, because the difference from our lowercase o to uppercase O is 32 characters, as we know, and it is a positive value because s2 is greater than s1. If we were to make the opposite, I'm sorry, I missed Wait, this should be a capital O. Yep. Now we'll have negative 32. And that's it. Now we have exercise 01, which is FT, STR, and comp. And as you can guess, just like the example with str cats and str in cats, or I think it was str duplicate or something, the difference here is that the in value character uh, will set how many characters we are going to compare on the same string. So for example, ft, str, and comp. Char as 1, char as 2, and unsigned int n. So we have our I here, I is equal to 0. So while s1 is different than null, and s2 of I is different than null, and also while I is lesser than n, because we are going to compare n characters, and then yes, if s1 of I is different than s2 of I, we return s1 of I minus s2 of I. We iterate here I plus plus, and now we are going to do something different that we need to remember. And at first it is hard to understand why we are doing this, but we say if I is lesser than n, we'll simply return s1 of I minus s2 of I, and then we return 0. So what is the main difference here? Well, the first thing we notice is that on the first while, on the first loop, we have we have our I lesser than n, because since we're going to check n characters and we are going to iterate y, this n will basically set how much longer in the string you're going to check. And now, why do we need this I lesser than n? Because what may happen is that the s1 string might have come to an end, but s2 didn't end yet. So this loop will break. And why? Because one of these arguments is not true, because since s1 might actually be different than no, but s1 isn't different than no. So this whole loop will break. So what we are going to simply do is that we are going to return s1 and s2 if I is lesser than n. So again, s1 is equal to hello, s2 is equal to hello world, unsigned int equals 5, unsigned int number equals 5. Now we do our printf %d because it's a number, counter slash n, ft, str, and comp s1, s2, and nb. Now, we humans can see that these sentences are different, but since we are only checking for the first 5 characters, which in this case is hello, our program will give us 0 in our return. And now, if we say that this I is 17, for example, and then yes, we'll get the right answer, minus 32, because of the difference between the space and the no character, which on our F table, we can see that here we have our space, 32, and here we have our capital O anywhere here. And yeah, this is basically it. Oh yeah, and also remember to comment the main functions you guys end up seeing. So str get reproduce the behavior of the function str get. So after we finish our header relay stdio really quickly, and we do char ft str get char def char source, we see what the str get does. So it copy or concatenates a string. Concatenate is basically join them. So if we have, like, for example, one sentence that is hello, and the other sentence is world, smiley. So if we concatenate both of the strings, we'll have hello, world, happy face. Main str. So the functions str get, sorry, concatenates a string pointed to by src, which is source, after the string pointed to by dest, overwriting is terminating null byte. The programmer is responsible for etc. And strcat returns dest, which is the destination. So we'll have our I variable, and while source of I is different than no, we are simply going to say that dest of I is the same as source of I, and we iterate our I. We say that dest of I is equal to no, because it points, you can see it is a pointer to a no character at the end, and we will return our dest function. We have our source, which is hello, and then we have our dest, which is space world. And then we print our sentence ft strcat dest source. So hello. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I always confuse myself. Let me just, yeah, this should be world. Yeah. This is hello, and then the source iterates on hello. This is what I was. Something's missing. Yeah, then right. I'm sorry. So yeah, in this case we will also need another function. Okay, we have to kinda change it. The first thing you're going to do is that you're going to say that while while source of I is different than 0, we just iterate our I, and here we will make it source of j, and that is j plus I. No, sorry, I plus j. I plus j, same thing as source of j, and then we have j plus plus and I plus j. Okay, hold up. Let's see what I missed here. Source of I is different than no. We iterate our I. Cool. Okay, so here's what I was missing. The thing, and that this is why this function confuses me, is that we have our source and we have our destination. But the thing is that our source is iterated to our destination, and not that our destination becomes the source. So the first thing we get is that we get to the end of source with dest I plus plus. So here I will hold all the value from dest, which is hello. And in this case, I is equals to 5. And then while source of j is different than null, so while world is not null, we'll say that dest of I, which is our already finished string, plus j, which is the string we are now writing, is equals to the source of j, and we iterate j, and the end of both the sentences end with a new character, and then we return our destination. Sorry for the confusion, but all part of life. Now we have vim, ftstr, and get, and since we are already used to these functions, we know that the only difference is that we are going to catenate n set of characters. Char pointer to ftstr and get char destination, char source, and sign in number. We have int I, and then to j, I is equals to 0, and so is j, while destination of I is different than no, we get I plus plus. And now here comes the NB, while source of j is different than no, and while I is lesser than number, the destination of j, which is already finished string, plus I is equals to the source of I plus plus. Right here, we again have to do the dest of j plus I is equals to no, and we return dest. So let's create quickly our main function. So destination is what's up, space, and source is folks of the internet. And number is equals to, I don't know, let's say 10, because I know these are less than 10 characters, so it is interesting for us to say it. So we print a sentence, create a new line, ftstr, and get that source number. And we return 0, compile, and there it is. What is up? Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote source of, yep, I wrote source of j is equal to the source of I. No, it is equals to the source of j plus plus. Okay, what's up, folks of the internet? Since number is 10, so 10 is enough to do it. And we say that NB is equals to 4. We compile it again. Okay, and now we have what's up, folks of the internet. We don't have what's up, folks of the internet. Let me just check something, because I think something is missing right here. Okay, I have something wrong on my code. an I. Oh, of course. This is an I as well. This is J. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. I understand it now. There it is. Okay, cool. Yep, now it makes sense. Now, str to on exercise 4. Then str dot c include UniSD and we include SDIO. Char pointer to FT str char str char to find. So reproduce the behavior of the function str. So let's see what str does. So it locates a substring. The str functions finds the first, this is important, the first occurrence of the substring needle in the string haystack. Terminating new bytes are not compared. These functions return a pointer to the beginning of the located substring. So let's go to it. Well, we already know what we have to do. In this case, we're going to use I and we are going to use J. Both are set to 0. And of course, since we're going to find something on the string, while str of I is different than no. And then we are going to write. But something we need to remember is that it does not compare. It doesn't find no characters. So we have to say that if the to find the first occurrence of the fives or of to find so 0 as no, then we have to return str. And now we can actually start our function. So here we'll set j equals to 0 again, just to make sure we didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't do it again. We have to do this inside the loop because this is going to reiterate through all the different characters, but we're going to understand why in a minute. So we're going to say that while to find of j is different than no, and we're going to say that while str of I plus j, because we're going to search on all the characters again, is equals to find of j. So while to find still exists, and while str of I, which the program is going to compile from the start, plus j, so this is iterating two things at the same time, is equals to find of j, we return str plus I. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking on my cheats on the left because I already wrote this code, but I don't remember it very well. I just know how to explain it. We are going to iterate the j value. And then yes, if the to find of j is equals to no, or meaning when it finds the node, then yes, we return str plus I. And then we iterate our I right here, and we return 0. So let's create the main function right here. I really need to drink some water right now. So we have str as hello pretty anime character. Just lost our spike for me, I know. And to find is equals to pretty. And then we print our sentence, create a new line, ft str 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 find, and we return 0. We can't forget the other parentheses, I wrote one. And then there we have it, pretty anime character. Because it is the hold up. Oh well. And then finally, we have the worst function to do, which is str all get. I am very sleepy right now. I'm sorry if my train of thought is not as smooth as it used to be. strl get sharp def sharp source and unsigned in size. So strlcat, the function strlcat is kind of fucked up because it is just a concept of things we need to do, basically. And I'm going to get the manual in a few time. But strcat will basically see all the strings that you have. So you can already get that the cat is a shortcut to catenate. So let's say we have two characters. We have hello, and we have two characters. No, I'm sorry, I have two strings. We have hello, and we have world. So to print all of those characters, we would need at least 10 characters of space plus the null terminator, so it would be 11. And strlcat will do this calculation for us. It will calculate how much space we need in order to properly have a string working. So let's go to the main of this. strlcat, that is down here. Sorry. strlcat. Copy and catenate the input string into a destination. Oh, I'm sorry, this is strcat. strlcat. Copy and catenate the input string into a destination string. Okay, we already get it. If the destination buffer, limited by its size, isn't large enough to hold the copy, the resulting string is truncated, but it is guaranteed to be null terminated. They return the length, they return the length of the total string they try to create. So as I was saying, they return the length or the space needed of the total string that we tried to create, but it didn't actually create it. So in order to do this, the first thing we need to do is we are going to use our beautiful int ft length, and we are going to calculate first the length of both strings. So you already know how to do it. We have our int I that is equals to 0, and while str of I is different, I'm sorry, then no, sorry for all the yarn, we iterate I and we return I. So we have the length of all the strings. And then on the ftstrcat, we'll have our I function, our I variable, sorry, but we'll also have j and k, and all of them All of them will be used shortly. I is equals to 0. We're gonna say that j is the return of str len of our destination, and k is the value of the length of our source, str len. So if j, so if the length of dest is greater or equals than size, because we have a limitation, which is our size, we're going to return k, which is just the source, plus size. This is just to check if everything is working. And while str of, while the source of j, so the source of all the length of dest, is different than 0, and we already know it should be so, because it doesn't, currently its value is the value of destination, and j plus 1 is smaller than size minus 1, and this plus 1 and minus 1 cannot be removed. And they are there because we are working with arrays, and arrays starts on the position 0. I'm yawning a lot today. I apologize for this. So dest of I plus j is equal to the source of I. We iterate I here. So, well, it's going to be easier to explain on the main function, so I won't bother doing it now. If j is actually, if j plus k is actually smaller than size, we simply need to say that the dest of j plus 1, again, because of the array, is equals to no. And at the end, we return j plus k, because we need to return int. So let's say our destination is hello, so j is 5, and our size is 50, and the size is the buffer size that we estimate, so it can't be bigger than this number. Hello is 5, and 5 is smaller than 50, but if for some reason our j is bigger or equals in size, we just need to return k, which is our source plus the size. And while j is different than no, we are going, and j plus 1 is smaller than size minus 1, which is simply say that I plus j is equals to source of I. We don't really need it. It's just a good practice to keep it here. We could just get the I plus plus sign if we want. The code would be much smaller. And if we have our main function, we could say that the destination is hello fellas. Our source is space or fellas and fellow programmer, and our size is 25, and then we will print the percentage of numbers, so it is d, we create a new line on ft strlcat, and we have our destination, our source, and our size. We return 0. Why isn't the... Oh yes, this line right here. Segmentation fault. Let me see what I missed here. What am I missing? Hold up. Let's see what I did wrong. I thought this was 100% completed. Make a comment on the line. So what I messed up is this has to be j plus I, and we return j plus I as well. So we compile our code. Dust I j plus A, return k plus size. What am I missing? JFTSTRLN of dust of size j is bigger than size, return k plus size, dust of, but this is okay, let's see. Okay, k plus size, okay. What about now? On line 28. What am I missing on the line 28? We have our new character. Oh, okay, so this should be a U. I have no idea why, but I guess this is it. And on the line 23, I used stars of J. It says should use stars of I, and while J plus Y. Okay, I can say. If J plus I equals okay, so this is the actual right function. Thank God it was done with you. And this is, I'm really sorry this wasn't the best tutorial ever, but yeah, I'm really sleepy right now. Goodbye.